Hi, I'm Vince and welcome to my channel, Vince Cooper Games. In this video, we're going to continue through with the playthrough of my solitaire war game, Bloody Lane, and we're going to go through turn 2. So let's just take a quick look. Let me just reset that, just practicing. Let's take a look at the sequence of play. First stage is the supply phase. So first of all, the tokens in the supply boxes move one space to the right. So the orders token goes from S1 to S2. And we can then choose a new supply token, which can be orders, ammunition, or reinforcements. I'm going to send orders again, and I place that in box S1, and that's the supply phase resolved. Okay, next is the reset Confederate artillery phase. The Confederate artillery already has an artillery ready token attached, so there's nothing to do there, so that phase is complete. Confederate artillery phase. So the Confederate artillery have two choices. They can fire or they can hold fire, and I'm going to decide to hold fire, so the artillery ready tokens remain attached. Next is the Union artillery phase. Okay, so the Union artillery phase, because the Confederate artillery chose not to fire, to hold fire, the Union artillery, Tompkins Battery and Tidball's Battery, are going to direct their fire at the supply line, and they will always target the rightmost token wherever it may be along the supply line. The rightmost token here is the orders token. It's in box S2, which means that we use the central target number, the 2 here. So we're going to make 1, 2, 3 attacks for Tompkins Battery and always 3 attacks for Tidball's Battery. So we're going to roll 2d6. If it's a 2, the orders token is going to be eliminated, and we get a 10, an 11, a 3, that was close, that's 3 attacks, and 11 again, that's 4. Okay, so there you go. So double 1 is eliminated, so that equals the target value here, so this orders token is destroyed. Now there's actually one more attack available, and usually we would attack the next leftmost supply token. However, the orders token when it's in box S1, there's a dash. So an orders token in box S1 cannot be attacked. So the third attack from Tidball's Battery is discounted. And that concludes the Union artillery phase. Okay, next, Union event phase. So we're going to refer to the Union event table here. Turn 1 to 5, so this is turn 2. We're going to use the event from column A. We're going to roll 4d6 4 times and resolve each event before moving on to the next one. So event number 1, okay, 4d6, okay, that's an 11. So if we refer to the Union event table, an 11 is a light fire event. We mark off 2 here to indicate that this is the first event of turn 2. So light fire, okay, select a target, roll 1d6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, indicates the target, 6 is a reroll, then roll 1d6 again. If you get a 1, the cohesion of that target is reduced by 1. So first of all, let's determine the target. 6 is a reroll, 6 again is a reroll, and 1. Okay, so the target is going to be the 6 Alabama. We roll 1d6 again. If it's a 1, 6 Alabama has its cohesion reduced by 1, and we get a 3, so no effect. Okay, that concludes Union event number 1. Union event number 2, roll 4d6. Okay, that's a 13. If we refer to the table, 13 is a reform action. Just very quickly, reform gives a free cohesion check to any Union counter that has a cohesion less than its maximum value. Right now, all of the Union counters have a cohesion of 2, which is their maximum in the first wave, so there's nothing to resolve, so we skip that. Okay, third Union event, 36. We get a 14. So again, if we refer to the table over here, 14 is another light fire event, so we're going to roll 1d6 to determine the target, then 1d6 again. If it's a 1, cohesion is reduced by 1. So Confederate target, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 30th North Carolina, 1d6 again, and a 5 is a miss. So that's the light fire event resolved. Okay, fourth and final Union event for turn 2, roll 46, that's a 15. Let's come around to the Union event table. So 15 is a reform event, but it's already been resolved. So if it's already been resolved, we check the next higher number, which would be 16, but this has already been resolved also. So we check the next higher event, which is 17. This is a heavy fire event. Just mark a 2. So heavy fire, select a Confederate target. Heavy fire this time, roll 1d6, but on the result of 1 or 2, you reduce the cohesion by 1. So let's select the target first of all. And we get a 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourth North Carolina. 1 or 2, cohesion reduced by 1. We get a 4, so no effect. And that concludes the Union event phase. That's 4 Union events that have been resolved in turn 2. 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay, so next is the Union action phase. Usually in the Union action phase, we would roll 1d6 and determine the Union action using this table here, move or volley. However, as you can see, from attack position number 1, make an automatic move. Okay, so we're not going to roll 1d6 to determine it. So 1st Delaware move from C1 to C2, 5th Maryland from D1 to D2, 4th New York from E1 to E2. And that concludes the Union action phase. Next step, okay, remove any exposed tokens. There are no exposed tokens attached to any Confederate counters, so also we skip that. Union deployment phase. Union deployment is in turn 4, 8, and 12. So we're on turn 2, so there is no Union deployment, so we also skip that. Confederate action phase. Okay, actually, right now there's nothing. They haven't taken any hit. Okay, yeah, let's kind of go ahead and do this. Let's start trying to inflict some casualties on the Union. So we're going to roll 4 6-sided die. These are called Confederate action die. And these are our results. Okay, which actions you take are determined on this table here. However, to make things a little bit clearer, let me put this down here. We're going to refer to this table here. So what we do is we assign each die to a column and then choose one of the actions in that column. So a 6 allows us to choose anything. A 5 would be a fire or a reload. 2 would be fire or reload. 4 would be reload or inspire. So none of the Confederate counters right now need to reload, so we can discount that. So we're going to have the 30th North Carolina fire. We're going to have the 4th North Carolina fire. And also inspire is for if the Confederate counter wants to regain cohesion, you would use inspire. So reload and inspire are redundant choices. And 2, we're going to choose to fire with the 14th North Carolina. So let's go through and resolve those attacks. So we'll go from left to right. So 14th North Carolina. Okay, there's no smoke token, so no modifier for that. Confederate modifier for range is -1. So we're going to make a cohesion check. 5 minus 1 is 4. If it's a 1, the miniable total is 2 or more. So if it's a 1, we're going to resolve devastating fire. So 1d6, 1 to 4 is a hit, 1 is 2 hits. And we get a 2. And that reduces the cohesion of the 1st Delaware from 2 to 1. Okay, we turn the 14th North Carolina to the right. This indicates that in the following turn it will need to reload, and that will reduce the miniable total by 1. Incidentally, each counter can only take a maximum of 1 action per turn. Okay, let's resolve 4th North Carolina, 1 to 4. and we get a 4, so that's another hit on the 5th Maryland. So cohesion is reduced from 2 to 1, and we turn 4th North Carolina to the side. And last one is 30th North Carolina. Oh, we got a 1. Okay, so remember, a 1 is devastating fire. So if the mini ball total is 2, 3, or 4, you can apply devastating fire. Devastating fire inflicts 2 hits. So 4th New York is reduced from 2 to 1 to 0. So 4th New York is eliminated. 30th North Carolina is turned 90 degrees. But devastating fire is considered to use an excess amount of ammunition. So the mini ball value immediately is reduced from 4 down to 3. And then in a following turn, when it uses reload, the 30th North Carolina will again reduce the mini ball value from 3 down to 2. Okay, so quite a successful round of fire there for the Confederates. And that concludes the Confederate action phase. Okay, so we're now end of turn phase. So end of turn phase, we would remove any smoke tokens, but there are no smoke tokens, so nothing to resolve there. So that concludes turn 2. We then mark off turn 2 over here on the player sheet, and next video we'll look at turn 3. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.